Hey guys, Mike here from Lunch Money Comics. Super excited today because I'm finally back at Rieta Flea Market in Hubbardston, Massachusetts. One of my favorite flea markets in the whole world, and it's actually the first time I've been able to go all summer. It's an absolutely packed house today. Can't believe how big this flea market is. So let's go inside and see if we can find some comic books. You can find anything at Rieta, including musical instruments. Great 80s toys. How's it going? Cool. So often the key to being successful at these flea markets is to get here really early, but I'm about an hour later than I want to be. Had trouble getting up this morning. I was very tired. I was up late editing. So hopefully I can still get some success and find some comic books that haven't been picked through. Just gonna grab the stack right here. Okay.
Busy spot.
Yeah.
Hits are 20. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. I always do. Yeah.
And here's a guy that has tons of old periodicals and stuff, and often has comic books. And in fact, I spot some there, and also a ton right here. Look at that. Wow. Gotta dig in. Try to go through these piles quick first. Get an idea, a sense of what's in there. So, some more modern stuff, Dynamite, Red Sonja. We get some Batman. Oh wow. None of these have backing boards, so you know, I'm not expecting them to be in the best shape. At least Charlton fighting armies, fighting Marines and stuff are very cool. I used to have a whole bunch of these as a kid. Tons of Archies. Some of these can be valuable, especially if they have innuendos. So I can go through and check all these a little bit closely. Prices are pretty low. Cool. Snoopy. Let's check these ghostly tales. It's pretty common. These are all Richie Rich. His is much better organized than he has in the past, as I'm messing up his piles. All Duck, Star Wars. Some of these Dark Horse ones can be valuable. I'll have to look through them a little more carefully.
I got all mine nice and a nice.
Sabrina.
Yeah, all put away.
Cool. Let's check the table here. We have some old pulps. Not in very good shape, but always worth looking at. Some monster books. There you go. Conan. Those are worth looking at closer. And even more comics. Alright, putting on the camera mount here to give you guys an idea of sort of what I'm going through. Wind's picking up, so it's making it kind of hard to go through these and film. Most of these are priced at $1, but some of them are a little bit high for what they are and the condition. Some interesting stuff in here. That's cool. Wow. Some of these are pretty beat up, but interesting. What else we got? Just the Champions, Huntress, it looks like. Yep. Okay. Let me know down in the comments if you guys see anything you would pick up that I am skipping. Because that always happens when I go to these flea markets. It's funny. I can't buy them all, guys. I want to, but I can't. Alright, let's check this pile of Archies as well. That's cool. Alright. Wow. 12-cent Archies. Wow. These are cool. Wow. This pile looks promising. A lot older books here. I saw some Whitmans, interesting. Zippy the Chimp, 10-cent. I know someone who collects Casper. That's cool. These are neat. Oh, look at that. These are pretty collectible too. Wow, it's not in good shape at all. But I think that's worth picking up. For 5, 6, 7, 8. There you go.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. This is cool. So that's a pretty good start to the day. Nothing insanely good, but you gotta start somewhere. And I see a little bit more comic books right up ahead. All right, what's going on with this?
Everything that's $8 and under is just $1.
Oh,
and
cool.
Everything that's above 8 is gonna be 50% off.
Okay.
Yep, just trying to move them and get out of it.
Yeah.
Anything that's not bagged or anything is just 50 cents.
Yeah.
As well.
Okay. Let me start digging.
Absolutely. I got bags too for you if you need them.
Cool. All right, what do we have in here? So these are all really, really cheap books. Just trying to get an idea of what's in here. Okay. Not in the best shape. These ones are at least bagged and boarded. And I know this vendor here often, hunts at a lot of the same places I do. Those big comic sales. I think he buys cheap and he sells cheap. And he just told me he's trying to get out of the hobby. So he's trying to get rid of this stuff. So these ones, half price books in here. This looks more interesting. It's a great cover. Always like that cover. so these are all half price.
Yeah, we're gonna have a lot.
That's cool.
Got the dust ball, and
Okay.
I got the dust ball, and I'm like,
Of course, you have the two that I have. It's the
Yeah.
next one I don't have. Yeah.
yeah.
And you're so funny. You're like,
What's going on here? When you see a lot of people swarming, it usually means there's new stuff,
speaker wire.
a new dealer, or things are really, really cheap. And I think it's might be a little bit of both.
We're behaving.
Wow. Cool.
We just need a record player, really.
Warning, counterfeit silver coins are all over Amazon, Etsy, Facebook, literally everywhere. And they're sponsored.
So this was a beautiful sunny day a few moments ago, and the clouds are rolling in. I don't think it's gonna rain, but it definitely cooled off. Hopefully the weather stays nice. But with a flea market this big, I have to have some luck, right? And of course, I'm not just looking for comic books. All right, I got my kids' Silver Eagles for this year. Awesome. Thanks so much. Appreciate it.
Definitely worth. No, I don't want it, but it's definitely worth $5.
Yeah, it's $5. Put it next to the DVD. Somebody will probably grab it.
That's pretty cool. I don't know if it's complete, but it's a cool puzzle.
We were golfing and it got really
That's a lot of fishing rods.
let his cousin borrow it.
And that's a lot of golf balls.
Specifically this one.
And that's the kind of stuff. I mean,
That's
just-
interesting.
Because I'm a collector of a lot of stuff, and because of
There's some. I think we've all seen these kinds of books at flea markets, right?
It's $2 a piece, 3 for $5, unless it's marked cheaper. I'll honor it.
Gotcha.
This one is one of those that they do have.
Nothing very good in there. Certainly not for the price. All right, let's check this last field here. The weather's actually turning quick. Hey, look at that. And literally the last tent I'm looking at has comic books. How you doing?
Hello. How you doing today?
Been looking for comic books. I was about to leave. Happy I stopped. Cool.
Particular titles or?
All of them. All of them. All right, let's start over here with the Marvel. We got some Fantastic Four. Cool. And these are all labeled prices? Yeah.
Yep.
Pretty much most of this run here. These are annuals. I don't have all the annuals though. We gotta check the X-Men, of course.
I was thinking about 15 long boxes at home. I still have to keep going through. Bought a
Oh wow.
auction out of somebody.
Really?
because I don't know what condition they were in. I bought a blind
Yep.
for pennies on the dollar, and it's like, so I got to go with every single book.
Yep. Were they already bagged and boarded though?
Some of them.
Oh, see, that's
Another thing too. I've had
yeah.
probably like half the collection was in the bag.
Right. Fine, you can kind of kill two birds with one stone if you're checking the prices as you bag and board them, you know.
Yeah. I know he hangs out at the That's Entertainment in Pittsburgh.
It's a great store.
I haven't really been up there that much either.
Yeah, I haven't been up there in a long time. The one in Worcester, yes. That's Marvel Tales of first U.S. Captain Britain. Okay, Spider-Man.
Should be in there. They teamed up together a couple times.
I love these Ross covers here. They're great.
That's a good deal.
Thank you. I'm doing that.
That's cool. Action. Classic. Hey, I'm actually trying to finish this run. Okay. Let's see. Oh yeah. Appears to be sort of random. Oh, is that cool Scarlet Witch? And of course, you gotta have the fresh produce. And finally, inside the barn, there's always a guy in here that sets up selling comic books. But I don't know if he still does it. There's a lot of toy vendors in here. Oh yeah, I see him. He's over there. Always worth looking to see what he's got. Check the nicer stuff first. So let's look at these ones. Here we have first appearance of the girl who would become Tigra. Talked about this on my channel in the past. Chain of the She-Devil.
You buy 10 to 20 copies, 10% off, 21 to 49, 20% off, 15 up, 25% off.
All right.
Yeah, the bad thing about comics is they take up so little room.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you know,
It's a
there's
reprint.
like 300 comics.
Yeah.
And if somebody, you know, the average person shows up, he's not going to buy 50 or 60 books.
No.
You know, he might buy 2 or 3 here, he might buy 10 or 12. But
Yeah.
that's why I'm having huge sales.
These strange sports are kind of fun. That's cool. Wow. Oh, hey, what's going on? Long time no see.
Yeah, man. How was church time?
Really good.
Nice.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
I picked up Fantastic 448.
There you go. That's a big book.
First time
They
owning it.
like this. I have a number two.
Cameo going on. Yeah.
I have
Yeah.
a number two.
Oh, I know. Oh, nice.
I also have number 3, 4. I don't have 5, or 6, and 7. I have the 48, the 49.
Nice.
I have 50,000 pounds.
Oh,
81.
I love how put it on.
I just bought Werewolf by Night number 32 last week. Graded near 20.
And this is one of the biggest toy dealers that I see in the area. Sells at lots of flea markets, and now he has a permanent setup.
That's the best one.
He's got a lot of great stuff here.
That one there is like wiki. There's if I have the blue. Oh, here you go. If you see this with that color gun, it goes to this figure or the Bespin figure. The original layer gun is a darker, like a more black, like blue. They call it blue black.
I actually almost got that Lobot. But yeah, guys, that's it for me at this flea market. Listen, there were comic books absolutely everywhere. Not a ton that I wanted. Still, I ended up with a nice little stack, and I definitely got them for some lunch money comics prices. So let's go back to the house, show you guys everything I got. So there you go, guys. That was Rieta Flea Market in Hubbardston, Massachusetts. A flea market I normally go to like every other weekend in the summer, except for this year. Such a busy year. It's actually the first time I've been able to get out there, which is really too bad because when the weather's nice, this flea market can be absolutely hopping. And I've had a lot of success there in the past, not only finding comic books and other collectibles and antiques, but also sometimes I sell there, usually about once a year. I set up with some other friends. First time I got out there, and guys, it was absolutely packed. A huge flea market. And as you saw in the footage, there were comic books pretty much everywhere. I always find comic books there. But even when I'm being frugal, even when I'm hunting on a budget, I usually end up with more than I got this time. I only got 6 comic books. And nothing like crazy good, definitely some good ones in here, don't get me wrong. But I definitely wanted to make a full video on this because a lot of people ask me down in the comments for a longer cut. They want to see more of the flea market setting. They want to see someone walking around and finding these comic books in the wild. I've even had people tell me, you know, who are older or disabled that they live vicariously through me. So even though I didn't get a ton of comic books to bring home, there was so much cool stuff to see. I wanted to put as much footage in this video as I could while having it not also be boring. So for those of you that want a longer cut and see the sights and sounds of a New England flea market, I hope you enjoyed it. All that being said, guys, I definitely have some cool comic books at some lunch money prices before I show them to you. If you like this sort of stuff and you want to support the channel, head on down, like, comment, subscribe, and follow me on Instagram under Lunch Money Comics IG. I'm actually going to start at the end. The very last vendor I saw at the whole flea market had the most comic books, and I was talking with him, and evidently he sets up there a lot. It's just the first time I've ever seen him. He had gotten in a big collection that had been pretty much cherry-picked of the keys, but he was trying to sell all the rest to kind of get his money back. And not a ton of stuff that I'm really interested in, but I was able to find 3 comic books that I thought were great, at least for the price. And these are definitely books I don't think people would expect me to pick up. So let's start with some DC and some Superman. This is Superman Confidential number 2. It's from 2007. Now, Superman Confidential was a series that only ran for 14 issues from 2006 to 2008. And basically the idea behind it is it's Superman's early escapades as a superhero. Goes back to his days first donning the blue outfit and the cape. And it's pretty cool. Every 4 issues or so, again, not a very long series, the people working on it change and there's sort of different mini stories. For instance, the first 4 or 5 issues are done by the late great Darwin Cook was the writer and Tim Sale was the artist. And for instance, in this story, Superman first encounters kryptonite. That's sort of the idea behind the stories in Superman Confidential. But the reason why I wanted to pick this up, specifically this issue, is because last year I found a comic collection at a yard sale, lots of Superman, and inside of it was almost the entire run of Superman Confidential. And of the early issues, the only ones missing were issues 1 and 2. So I've been keeping my eyes open for them, hoping I'd find them in the wild really, really cheap. I mean, I could buy them online, you know, on eBay or whatever and pay shipping, but I wanted to find them the good old-fashioned way. So I've been keeping my eyes open for them, and here we go. We actually found one. Now, I'm not just getting this because I want to fill the run in. It's because also Darwin Cook, I have a buddy who loves Darwin Cook, loves him as a writer and as an artist. He has a fantastic retro style, and that's also true of the artist here, Tim Sale. I love his sort of pulpy and oftentimes noir style. Look at this cover. It's fantastic. So yeah, I actually really like the early issues in this Superman Confidential. I think this is a great cover of Lois Lane, and I'm guessing that's Jimmy Olsen right there. So really, really cool. Let me know down in the comments if you have read this series. This one was $3. Happy to pay that. Next up, another Superman book, and it's this. This is Superman Forever, #1, a big, thick, square-bound book from 1998, and I got this simply as a cover buy, guys. Look at it. It's an Alex Ross amazing cover of Clark Kent turning into Superman. It's fantastic. I love Alex Ross. I didn't know what the story was about. I did look it up, and evidently this is a big story because starting here, Superman becomes himself again. And what I mean by that is, leading up to this, Superman had been 2 different entities because comics in the 90s. Don't ask, I don't want to get into it, but basically he recombines and because Superman right here, and it looks fantastic the way Ross paints him. So that's why I got it. Great cover buy. It was $5, right? The last one, this is a silly book. This is a Marvel book. It's this, Fool Killer #1 from 1990. Now, Fool Killer is sort of a vigilante character in a sort of one that's not quite right in the head. And he's actually the 3rd different person to wear the mantle of Fool Killer in Marvel Comics over the years. Why would anyone care about basically a dollar book 90s character? That's because, I've mentioned this a million times on my channel, yeah, I have the trading card. This is Fool Killer's rookie card from the very first Marvel trading card series, and I collect the first appearances of the characters in these cards, and there it is in the back. Fool Killer #1 from 1990. Now I have it. Kind of silly, but you guys know me. All told, guys, these 3 cost me $10. I didn't even argue with the guy. I think that's totally fine. So the rest of these comics I got from a vendor I see there all the time. He's an older guy who has tons of paper. Tons of paper things. He has, magazines, he has newspapers, he has pulps, and tons of comic books. He's the one that you saw all the stuff on a table and laid out on a blanket on the ground. He does that all the time. He also has some Savage Sword of Conan. Really cool stuff, and I found some pretty neat stuff from him in the past. This time was no different. He had a lot of cool stuff I could have picked up, but these are the ones that spoke to me the most. Let's start actually with the oldest book I found on this day. It's this. This is Ha Ha Comics #50 from February of 1948, although evidently it was released at the end of 1947. And yeah, this is a funnies book. It is a big, thick comic book full of tons of different stories of Looney Tune type characters getting into all sorts of antics. Now, at face value, guys, that's fine. This is a cool enough book to collect just because of the age, but I have a buddy who's really into these because just like Looney Tunes characters that can sometimes be a little violent towards each other, the stuff they do to each other in these types of books back in the Golden Age is kind of insane. I have a buddy who's really into these. I thought he would approve of me picking it up. It's not in the best shape. I think the worst part about it is that it's a massive spine roll, and it was really dirty. Well, I was able to rebag it. I cleaned off the surface dirt. I was even able to get rid of the spine roll a little bit. It definitely needs some more TLC, but with both staples attached, I think it's a pretty good presenting book. It only cost me $6. And I really love it. The more I look at it, the more I like it. So there you go. Let me know down in the comments if you collect these sort of funnies comics from the Golden Age. Very cool. The last 2 books that I got, I might surprise people, but there's a method to the madness here. They're Archie books that cost me $1 a piece. So let's start with this one here. This is Betty #10. It's from 1993. Art by Dan DeCarlo, longtime Archie artist. He did it alongside Allison Flood. And I got this simply because it's an iconic cover. You have Betty and Veronica, the blonde and the brunette, yelling at each other over their shared love interest of Archie right there, right? This is a cover that gets homaged all the time of these 2 girls going against each other over Archie. And I just really like the cover. It was really cool. And it segues nicely into my next book, which once again features Betty and Veronica. This is Archie's Girls, Betty and Veronica #321 from 1982. Now again, at first blush, this looks like just another girly cover. You got Betty and Veronica working out in the gym, all the boys oogling them. This isn't like an innuendo cover. They tend to be worth quite a bit. No, just straightforward. It is what it is. Why was I interested in this one? Well, that's because yours truly has a very good visual memory. I get a lot of questions down in my comments and on Instagram of how I identify keys as quickly as I do. And don't get me wrong, guys. I definitely don't have a perfect memory for this stuff. But whenever I start learning about a title, I go down the rabbit hole to find out about the stories, the artists that worked on them, and yes,
some key issues. So I know which ones are a little bit more valuable, which ones to look out for, because I have such a good visual memory, they tend to stick. Well, a couple of years ago, I found a big collection of Archies from the 90s and 80s. And again, going down the rabbit hole, I found a whole bunch of ones that were worth money. And one of the most valuable Archies of the modern era is the issue before this, Archie's Girls, Betty and Veronica, number 320. Now, on that issue with a cover, which looks pretty benign and mundane, it just shows Betty and Veronica gardening for vegetables, ends up being the first appearance of a major Archie character named Cheryl Blossom. So Cheryl Blossom is a third love interest for Archie. Unlike the blonde and the brunette, she is a redhead like Archie, and she started off as sort of the rich mean girl in the comic series and eventually became a pretty good sympathetic character on her own. She's become so big since the early 80s that in fact that the CW show Riverdale, which is based off of Archie characters, Cheryl Blossom is like the main character of that show. She is a very beloved character that people like. And because of that, this is actually her second appearance in this title. Now, her appearances around here are kind of messy because her brother appeared earlier, and then there were lots of Archie titles that came out at the same time. I think there's a Jughead that's actually her second appearance. But she's big in the Betty and Veronica title, along with the other girls, and because of that, it's her second appearance in this title itself. Now, that first appearance of hers is worth quite a bit. I just got this because, hey, I remember what that looks like. I know it's right around that era. I picked it up. And then I was shocked and delighted to find out that this book can go for a little bit of money. People who can't afford her first appearance go for this, and I saw it selling for $30, $40 on eBay, more for a graded copy. Granted, this isn't in great shape. There's a color break right here, a little bit of discoloration, but for $1, it's definitely worth more than $1. And remembering keys like that, guys, whether it's visually or you just have a good knack for numbers, is really important at a place like Rieta Flea Market, where I'm going to say reception's spotty, but honestly, guys, there is no reception. You can't see anything, so you can't look stuff up. You just need a good memory. And whether you're at a flea market or you're just out in the, the rural areas where I like to hunt, you're in a barn or you're in a basement, you might not have the ability to look issues up. It's good to have a memory for this stuff and to sort of study up on them. So I wish I had a better way of explaining how I know those things or how to look them up on the fly, guys. The best way is just have that memory, lock in those numbers, lock in the pictures of the covers in your mind, and you find stuff like this. So I'm also telling this because that first appearance of Cheryl Blossom, number 320, is an often overlooked book, especially amongst collectors of superheroes. They overlook Archies all the time, guys. Remember, innuendo covers of Archie are worth a lot, and that issue is worth a lot. Lock that picture in your head. Remember it, because you might be surprised next time you're out at a flea market and you find some old Archies that you think no one cares about. There might be a book worth quite a bit. So, all told, at the flea market on this day, I only ended up with 6 comic books and spent a grand total of $18. That's some definite lunch money. Let me know down in the comments which of my pickups do you like the best. And one of my favorite things to ask, guys, let me know if you saw anything in the footage that you would have picked up that I passed on. One time I was at this flea market and passed up a really rare, low print run G.I. Joe, very high number G.I. Joe, and I did not hear the end of it down in the comments, guys. That's another way you learn about those key issues. You learn from your friends and peers in the hobby, right? From other collectors, and that's a great way to learn. So let me know if you saw anything in the comments I should have picked up. I would love to hear from you guys. And that's it. In the meantime, keep hunting for comic books in strange and unusual places like flea markets. Thank you all so much for watching. See you guys next time.